Happy Thursday! How's it going? Let me know. Are you traveling for Thanksgiving? Staying home? Cooking? Ordering in? When it's just the three of us, Sean, Kaylee, and I, we cheat a lot. We order from a vegan place that makes a vegan Thanksgiving, and it's delicious. And we spend the whole day together just hanging out and having fun. It's awesome. I highly recommend. So today, though, we're going to be talking about a common fear I see a lot in practitioners, especially in the first few years of being the practitioner they are. Whether you're a yoga teacher, a healer, body worker, physical therapist, OT, combination of the above, I hear this common fear, and I used to have it myself, truthfully, that I would teach a yoga class or I'd be in a session and I'd run out of things to do. So when I was massaging, it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna cover the body too quickly, right? If it was a full hour long full body massage, that I'd do it too fast and then what? Or when I started doing private sessions, kind of the hybrid of it all, that I wouldn't think of an exercise in time or a yoga posture, or I wouldn't know what to do next. I think it's really common. However, I have a different perspective for you. A lot of the times when we're thinking this, we're thinking about me, like me running out of things to do. All you have to do, here it is, ready? Is think of the client and look at the client, right? So in the Radiant Being mentorship teacher training, I actually walk you through a very step-by-step process on what to look for in your clients that can help determine what yoga asanas you might choose, or whether you might do more yoga philosophy or mindset type work or coaching. I really walk you through that in the container of serving in that group. But for now, what you can start to do is anytime you have that thought or feel that fearing, I'm going to run out of things to do, switch your focus to the client. Just look at them. Look at their posture. Hear the words coming out of their mouth. Like, what's happening? What kind of stories are they telling, right? Not from judgment, but from compassion and just from gathering information about you. They will literally tell you the direction that you need to go in the session, or they'll literally tell you what they want or need, what kind of, and so if you get out of your own head and say, oh, I have to do this in this protocol, or this in this sequence, or a cookie cutter approach, it's actually going to take you out of the connection with that particular client. So the way to stay present and focused on them is to just look, hear, and see them. Look at how they're sitting. Ask them, is that how you sit in your day-to-day, moment to moment? Because if they are in kind of a slump asana or just sitting throughout the day and they're runners, for example, then you know, hey, well, we got to do some reversal of that sitting. Stretch your hip flexors. Ask them as they're telling you the story of their life. Like, okay, I just heard a lot from you. How do you feel about that? Are you anxious? Do they have a lot of stress? Okay, so then we got to bring in the nervous system, right? So if you just switch the focus from you to them, then a whole world will open up right there for you on a ton of exercises, philosophy, techniques. It's endless, all that you can do with the person. For example, one time I had a client, she was hanging out on the yoga wall, and there's a neck traction technique I do with her, or I do with people sometimes when they're hanging out, and I say inhale, and on the exhale, I slowly give a traction. And when she was doing this, I noticed that exhaling, because I was very, this is what I do. I practice what I preach, right? I was with her in the moment, very present. I I noticed that her exhale was like very short and kind of jagged and hard. And so when we finished it, I was like, how did you feel during that exhale? Was that easy or hard? And she was like, no, it was really hard. And I go, is that common? Does that happen a lot? Like you breathe in, but you have a hard time letting it go? And she was like, yes. And that correlated to her body being super tense and her mind being anxious, right? So that clearly dictated her homework. It was laid out plain as day for me. So we got down on the table and I gave her simple breathing techniques. Inhale and exhale. Nothing fancy, nothing manipulative, right? If she's just having a hard time exhaling normally, I'm not going to layer anything fancy or hard on that. She's just going to observe and see if just being, she can improve that length of exhale just by allowing, right? I think sometimes the other layer of the problem is that we fear that we're not going to be an effective practitioner, that we're not going to get them the results that they desire, or that we're going to miss something or do something wrong. All these fears will cause us to freeze and then have this additional fear that we're going to run out of things to do. Right? I think also the common problem is that we fear it's too basic. It's too common knowledge. It's something they can find on YouTube or a podcast, which is probably true. But here's the difference. Whether they found it on YouTube, Google, or a podcast doesn't mean it's appropriate for them. How do they know it's appropriate for them, that right now it will help them get the results that they desire? Is because you're holding the container of space. You know their problems, their struggles, so you now know that a simple breath technique, nothing fancy, just observing the breath, even feeling it with their hands, is exactly what they need, right? If they heard that on a YouTube or a podcast, they might doubt it, not trust it. But because it's said from you in the container of space of healing, then they will trust it more and it will get way more impact and results in their life. So that's your message. That's your homework this week, is to notice if you're starting to have a fear and get anxious about finding things to do in sessions or classes. And how, even if you're teaching a class, right? How can you observe your students in the moment? For the people presenting in front of you, what do they need? What were they complaining about when they walk in the door? Probably next week it's all going to be about Thanksgiving, the time on the feet, all the people they have to accommodate, all the needs, all the wants, all the desires. They just need to chill out and let go. Or in a yoga class, how are they moving? Are they resisting your cues? Are they pushing and forcing? Are they moving too fast? How can you slow them down? It will dictate where to take them, right? So it's a bit of, you want to have, whenever I taught a class, and with the people that I work with one-on-one and in my mastermind, I always have a general idea of where we're going to go, a framework, right? I have the Ignite Your Business framework in the module, the pre-recorded content. However, I'm always open to flow, right? I'm not going to hang on so tightly to my framework and my processes that there's no room to negotiate someone's needs that's right in front of me. And I think that's another huge mistake that a lot of practitioners make, is that they're forcing their processes, their frameworks, what they want to do in a session or in a class, onto that group or that individual in front of them. It's got to be the other way around. It has to be the other way around. Client, group of people in front of you first. Your needs are outside the container. And if you're not getting your needs met, then that's another problem, right? Then you got to start putting in your own self-care. You should be not relying on teaching your yoga class to get your yoga in, right? Your yoga is done outside of the class, not when you're leading a group of people, right? Your protocol shouldn't override that client in front of you, what they need in that session, not just because it's week 2 and you want to teach this particular thing. No, it's based on what the client needs. If you always focus on the client first, then you'll never run out of things to do. I promise. Just hear them, just listen to them, just see them. All right, so I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a Facebook Live next week or not. Hopefully I can just pop in and give you a little appreciation and love, maybe a message of gratitude or focus for the week. Most likely I'll do that, even if it's just a few short minutes. And till then, I will see you next week. Bye for now. Oh yeah, and remember, get signed up for the end of the year event. We're going to do a little gentle yoga, speaking of. Even if you've never done yoga before, this class will be great for you. If you're an advanced practitioner, you need this, I promise. So then we can do, I have a specific process for planning out 2022. But we're going to do it from a replenished state, because your brain will be a lot more creative. You'll be able to problem solve and think of solutions way more easier, a lot easier than if you go into just end of the year planning from hustle, scarcity, not shaken off or reset from all the year, or evaluated the year and replenished your cups. So might be a new way to do things, but I promise it might start a new tradition going forward. The best news is it's free. So all you have to do is carve out the time. It's just 90 minutes. And if you're like, it's 90 minutes in December, Alison, come on, I've got like all these other events, then you need it the most. It'll make your holiday season so much more enjoyable, I promise, because you're going to go in relaxed, calm, confident, and you'll be revitalized to start the new year. So I'll see you at that event. I'll drop the link in the comments. If you want to get started right now, any questions, get a marketing plan, get a strategy to get more clients in the door, get more revenue, and sign up for a free strategy call. I'll listen to what's going on in your business right now. We'll decide the next steps going forward, see if you might be appropriate for the mastermind or not, or at least you'll have some awakening and definitely next steps. Alrighty, bye for now.